Hey.
It's finally working again.
No,
Everything's
it's
working.
not. Everything
Yeah,
is broken.
everything's
Uh,
working again. Everything is all good.
yeah, you're 100% in view. Yeah.
Everything's okay. So wave hi to everybody, Lewis. Say hi to everyone,
And you're
Lewis.
still doing it in front. You can't just like literally take your packages and move away. You still do it. And you're even closer now. You're the best. Love you. You're a disaster. Me quemo mi familia es tu, no yo.
Oh my god.
Dios
That
santo
is
mío.
that is amazing. What is that, Lewis? How's everything?
Chaos.
How's everything with you?
Yeah, you know what's the best part about the show right now?
Right.
Before we even started, they weren't even
Uh-huh.
here.
What do you mean?
I was completely alone in this house.
That was the best part when you were alone.
No, it was very boring.
How's the hurricane there?
There is no hurricane. There wasn't even a tropical storm. There was like a very inconvenient rain and then a light drizzle most of the time afterwards.
Technically, it was. Technically, it was.
Why is it that everybody outside of Florida hypes up Florida?
Everybody outside of Florida. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, before we get started, here's the thing. There's this. I've told you this before in the very beginning that there's always been an East Coast West Coast shit going on. That's 100% true. Okay, the West Coast thinks that everything is good in Miami, and then the East Coast thinks that everything is good in California. Listen, it's not roses.
It's all boring.
It's all boring. Everything's boring. It's just that what makes Florida different is that all the crazies are in Florida. That's all it is.
I think the difference between California and Florida is that Florida has more fun.
Florida has more crazy people.
That's we're more fun. Okay? Crazy is fun.
Like literally talking to Boss Logic on New York, he thinks like he really thought that Florida man was an actual person that just goes around Florida doing crazy things.
For about 3 years of my life, from 10 to 13, I thought Florida man was one very specific human being.
Everybody did. Everybody did.
And then the internet, it was like, oh no, Florida man is just a concept of a bunch of crazy people doing stupid shit.
Yeah, it's the Florida man, all right.
But no one bothers to explain, like, no one explains Florida man. They just say, like, Florida man. Like, man, this one dude really knows how to take it to the next level.
It just things crazy. Just makes.
I mean, like, just think about, like, if it really was one person. Just think about how much credit we have to give that person.
If it was one person, I judge the credibility of the police officers in Florida. Like, how is this man able to run around and you guys still haven't caught him? I mean, come on.
I wouldn't say like the competency of the police at that point. I'm just like, it's kind of like how movie stars get away with dumb shit. Florida man is like our Robert Downey Jr. Like, we can't arrest him.
He's the Robert Downey Jr.
He gives us way too much press to arrest him. And if we arrest him, it's just because we think he's too drunk and a danger to himself. So we let him go into that sober tank and take him out and let him free. Be free, my turtle dove. He's a peacock. You gotta let him fly.
You just set him off, man.
Yeah. And if he escapes from we're more.
Right. So how's everything with you, Lewis? It seems like you survived another week, so to speak.
Well, every week you got to think of it this way. When I survive a week, you got to wait 2 weeks from then to see if I actually survived.
If you actually survived a week, okay. I'll make sure I think about that.
So I survived 2 weeks ago.
You survived 2 weeks ago.
And next week it's 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks from now, you know that I survived this week.
Well, everything's good in here in my end. Well, as you guys could probably notice again, I am traveling again. This is a hotel room in here, so this is.
And right before this, we had a lot of issues.
Well, Lewis.
And by the way, it's a new technical issue that's never happened before.
So if you guys didn't know, I was actually you guys knew. Lewis didn't know. We have a before show now for We Got Issues. So everything that happened in the background, Lewis, for the last 15 minutes, everybody already saw that on Instagram Live. So
I am so thankful I didn't say anything extra stupid or racist.
so essentially,
You really got to tell me that so that I don't say anything like super racist like I normally do.
So we have a before show now. If you guys don't know it yet, we have a before show now. It's called Before Got Issues. It happens
Please go to our Patreon to get access to all 15 minutes of glorious pre-show
So
where you can hear me rant for like 15 minutes.
So it actually happens about 15 minutes before We Got Issues. So you guys can see all the technical difficulties that me and Lewis has. We have a small conversation before we get started too.
Why would you pay $15, like not 15, $5 a month?
No one would pay that.
To get about, let's say, 60 minutes, like on almost a movie of just like me shitting on you for having new and bizarre technical issues.
So this week, first things first is that yes, we do have a before issues now, so you guys can go ahead and subscribe in our Instagram. In there, you guys can see all the craziness that happens before everything.
I will make sure to make silly dances and give you ritual humps
so
to get your money's worth.
So that happens just before everything happens in there. So also, as you guys know, right before we begin every single show, we always do some shameless plugging. The shameless plugging that we have this week is basically Scott Williams and Alex St. Clair. We have a mail-in signing event that's happening in there with Alex St. Clair as well as Scott Williams. It's for X Factor #1. So we need your books by August 22nd. So if you guys are interested on that signing, definitely let us know. August 22nd is when we need those books. If you guys have any questions on it, let us know. We'll go ahead and send you all the links that you need, all the information that you need for this signing and what's going to be happening and all that stuff in there. So we have that going on. As well as like we said before, the 7 Secrets right there is in the bottom, the 7 Secrets exclusive cover that we have. We still have those two as well. And we have a big announcement for another exclusive that's coming out pretty soon too. So, but the 1 out of 10 and 1 out of 25, that is still for free. If you go ahead and go on our website, comicscorepromotions.com, we are selling that 7 Secrets there. We're going to see if we can have some sort of podcast with Tony pretty soon too as well. Okay, so with that being said, today's topic is we are going to be talking about the main topic that we have is basically something called Like Hell I Won't, which is the documentary that dropped about 4 or 5 days ago about Todd McFarlane. The reason why we're dedicating the main topic for Todd McFarlane's Like Hell I Won't is because there is a lot of layers in that movie that basically shows you a perspective of Todd McFarlane that's something that you never seen. But we all have our perspective of Todd McFarlane because he's a little bit private. Like Lewis thinks that he's basically full of himself. That's what I thought in the beginning too as well. Like, I'm Todd McFarlane kind of thing.
He has a track record.
He has a track record. But the thing was, if you look at the title of the show, The Last Dance of Comics, why is it The Last Dance Comics? Well, I'm going to explain that later on, but we're going to talk about a couple of things first before we move forward. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is basically our favorite topic as somewhat of a retailer too as well, is our warm-up topic, which is UCS distribution. What is going on with UCS distribution? Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with UCS distribution, UCS distribution is basically the new distribution company for DC Comics. So, when just a short recap on it, when DC Comics when Diamond shut down for a good while because of the pandemic, what ended up happening was DC tried to look for multiple distribution companies, and one of them is basically UCS Distribution Company, which is owned by DCUS something. I forgot. Oh man, the acronyms, man. Seriously. But the other one too is actually Lunar Comics. UCS, on the other hand, is owned by Midtown Comics, and Lunar is owned by another company too as well. Well, the controversy that's happening in there is that many retailers are actually noticing that the books that they're getting are actually either getting way delayed or they're actually a lot worse than Diamond. And that is horrible. Now, when they first started, bubble wrapped everything, it looks nice and everything, right? It's like, yay, no more Diamond stuff. But now, quite recently, if you read this article in here, what ended up happening was UCS disconnected their phone lines. They're like, no, we're not handling any more complaints. We're not handling any more phone complaints anymore. And they claim that basically this is to make how should I say this? Make their customer service a lot better, because if they have
more
it on the
mainstream.
phone line, more mainstream. Because if you have it on the phone line, it could be lost. Where if it was emailed or directly talking to them remotely, essentially what would happen is that you have a direct response right away. That's basically what's happening right now. So, Lewis, again, we were brick and mortar retailers before. After reading this article, it's Diamond 2.0, ain't it? It's Diamond 2.0.
That like would mean that you think that they're still a better Diamond.
Well, I mean, no, I mean, like, no, it's Diamond. It's a next stage to Diamond, which is like, it's still horrible, but like another horrible. I mean, Diamond, at least Diamond has a phone line. Like if you need to, okay, if you need to bitch and complain to someone, you can talk to somebody and bitch and complain to them,
and it still gets you no results.
So
I mean, like, they're complaining about a system that does not work at all.
Period. Like, period at all.
Period. Because all I ever seen you do to get those phone calls, one, sometimes, like a lot of the times, people are not even there to get that stupid ass phone call. When they do pick it up, you have 100%. To somehow spoon feed them slowly your serial number, your login, all this garbage, and you still have to somehow, after you give them the serial number for your product that you were missing, that you explained that you ordered, look into my dead beaten eyes of a whore man, that true. You ordered 2 months ago. It's like, no, I didn't ask for 5. I asked for 50 of them.
Yep, true. That is
where is my other 45?
That is true. Yep. It's like,
and you still charged me for 50 of them.
So here is the funny thing.
Now I'm not done with this fucking rant.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
And then after you give them the serial number, guess what you have to do afterwards? You have to give them your account number.
Right.
Slowly. Again. And then all they tell you at the end, all right, I wrote all this down. I will get back to you, which they don't even get back to you through a phone call. They get back to you through an email.
That is true.
So why the fuck are people complaining about them giving something that doesn't fucking work?
It
just makes it makes you feel like you have human contact.
Yeah.
Human contact is a dead art.
I think that I have a problem with disconnecting their phone lines, because what they're saying is that it's a lot faster to resolve your issues with emails and all that stuff. It's not.
I don't think that their goal is faster. I think their goal is more efficiency. I just think this article is written kind of poorly.
How so?
They made it sound like very confusing, which UCS.
Right.
Please, if you're going to make it Sunday, make it Sunday. Why is there a weekend holiday and now it has to be a Thursday FOC? Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, we talked about this as well. Yeah,
don't do that.
They changed
It's super
their
fucking
FOC.
confusing.
Yeah, we talked about this on the other show, on one of the other shows too as well. Is that they changed their FOC dates frequently,
No, no,
frequently,
no. It's supposed to be on Sunday,
right?
normal week. But if
Right,
there's a weekend, like a
right,
holiday weekend,
right.
somehow as Americans, which we
Mhm.
don't pay attention to our own holidays, have to figure out that that week we
Right,
have to do it on Thursday to get our
right,
orders in.
right.
Don't do that. It doesn't
Yeah,
fucking matter.
no,
If there is a long weekend, you're going to
yeah,
get it just as quickly if we did it or did
right,
not do it on Thursday.
right. Do you
Just
think
leave it on Sunday.
it was the right move for them to take off the whole phone line thing?
Um, yeah. All you're getting through a phone call is a very emotional and aggressive human being
Right,
that might not even make sense at the end of the day of what they
right,
want. All you're getting
right.
is someone to vent anger at.
Right. So now here's the funny thing. You guys are probably listening to us and ranting about this because we used to be retailers and all that, but this affects you too as a customer. As a customer, it affects you very, very, very heavily because you would have your books ordered or pre-ordered or whatever, and then all of a sudden, if they tell us that it got delayed, and they won't let us know the reason why, or if we miss a FOC, but they never announce when the FOC is, that affects you guys heavily too as well, right? You won't get your books that week. You probably won't get your books the following week because they always order. When you order, they always send it about a week and a half later. So that means you won't even get it till later. So that means it gets you off your rhythm, right? If you're expecting a book every like 2 weeks or so and you don't get it, it gets you off your rhythm very, very, very heavily. So it affects you guys too as well. So this is one of those issues that your comic book stores or whatnot should be letting you know, and they should be very transparent when it comes to something like this, right? So um if you guys want to learn more about how this affects you too as well, definitely ask your comic book stores and try to be transparent and ask them to be transparent with you guys so that you know what's actually happening. We're transparent with you guys, we'll let you know what's going on and whatnot, but we can't keep at this all the time, right? There's other topics too as well, but we will definitely touch on something like this when it becomes really big, right? Um, with that being said, too, as well, let's move on to the next topic that we have, which is Valiant. This made me laugh. This article made me laugh. Okay, so Valiant,
It didn't make me laugh, but
okay,
it
like
made some solid points.
but let me get to it first.
Yeah.
So Valiant, basically, if you guys know, was a comic book publishing company back in like the 90s. They got bought out and then they came back in 2011. I remember specifically, and they were bought out by two big businessmen, and they're like, "Oh, we love Valiant. We used to live.
By the way, the
We
businessmen were just big
yeah.
fans.
That they're just like, yeah, that's what I was about to say. They were just like, oh, we were just big fans of Valiant. It's nice that we got Valiant back. And then they started off with Harbinger and then Exo Man of War. And they had all these plans for movies and all that stuff. So essentially, you guys probably know Valiant because they made a deal with Sony. And essentially, Bloodshot came out of that.
I gotta still
Bloodshot
see that movie. I have so
Bloodshot
much to
has
watch.
had a lot of rendition in there before it fell into Vin Diesel's lap. Okay. There
Hmm.
was a lot of people attached to it and whatnot. But the most interesting part about this is that they were being asked by Games Radar on what they foresee on Valiant and what they see in the future and how they're going to build out the universe in there, because essentially at the end of Bloodshot it sets up for Harbinger was supposed to be the first one out of the gate, but they said no, we're going to go with Bloodshot first and Harbinger second. Now they were asking them how they're going to build the universe, where the universe is already packed as it is with DC and Marvel, and then Netflix and everyone else has their own universe too as well. How are you going to make your mark? And one of the executive of Valiant basically said that their movies are like their movies are like if Martin Scorsese wants to make a comic book movie, he would make a Valiant movie, which I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen Joker because that is Martin Scorsese's. He was the executive producer for Joker, so that made me laugh a little bit. But on the other
But being an
hand,
executive producer of anything doesn't mean
yeah,
anything. You never have to be there. You just get credited.
yeah, but you funded the movie. You
Yeah,
funded the movie. That's
that
why.
doesn't really mean much.
So essentially, what ended up happening too as well is that they try to compare their movies into the James Bond type of movies. They're like, oh, all these movies, they're great. Marvel is amazing. DC's universe is amazing too as well. But if you were to compare them to Valiant and what we're about to do, is essentially those guys are, if we were to compare to James Bond, they're the Roger Moore of James Bond, and we're more Daniel Craig. And that literally cracked me up. Okay. That literally cracked me up because you're comparing yourself to Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is arguably one of the best or the best James Bond that came out since Sean Connery. Roger Moore was very forgetful. Okay. Not much people knew Roger Moore was actually even James Bond. Okay. Roger Moore, no. Okay. Yeah, why would you fancy yourself as the best universe out there where you haven't really made your mark yet? I mean, given that you have Bloodshot and all the other independent companies haven't yet, why would you say that you're the Daniel Craig of movies? Like, do you agree with what he said that they are the Daniel Craig of the movies versus like Roger Moore? I would say they're more of like the Roger Moore and everyone else is Daniel Craig of comic book
You mean
movies.
like being less iconic, but more kind of like, oh, it's a thing that happened?
It's not really memorable. Like, you didn't even touch on
Until
it.
you told me, I look up Roger Moore. I'm like,
I don't remember that dude.
I remember that dude being in the James Bond movie.
I didn't
I
remember him
didn't, I
being in
didn't,
James.
I didn't like. I totally forgot he was James Bond.
It's like he was there. He was wearing a
Like,
suit, but I don't think he was James Bond.
like he wasn't James Bond. It's like kind of like the reverse effect of the Mandela effect. Like
Yeah,
I remember him being in there, but I don't think he was James
I don't
Bond.
think he was James Bond at all.
Like you're
Uh-uh.
the Shaq was obviously a genie, though. We just have to find that movie.
Yeah, that's true. But like, do you agree with him? Like, they are the Daniel Craig of comic book movies. Like
I
Valiant.
personally will always disagree when someone compares, like when they legitimately compares themselves to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
because you can never be that person. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you copy everything that they do,
Mm-hmm.
you you're 1,000% followed their mindset and all that. It's not
Right.
gonna ever be the same.
Well, here's what I will tell you, okay? Here's what I would tell you. My old man always tells me that if you're going to be a complete show off and you're going to run your mouth, you better back it up, right? So, I'll connect this point to our main topic too as well. So essentially, Bruce Lee, right? Bruce Lee runs his mouth a lot. Nobody
But
liked Bruce Lee that
he
much, right?
but
Like
he
personally,
was
yeah,
extortionary. He's a monster.
yeah,
When it
but
comes to hard work, he wasn't hard working.
yeah,
He was a monster.
but here's the thing. Nobody liked him personally too as well. They like him as a friend, but like they think he runs his mouth too much. But here's the thing. He runs his mouth because he can back it up. And what makes you pissed off is because he can back it up. It's not because he runs his mouth. It's because he can back it up. And like so,
It's in a way like I really want him to shut up, but
yeah.
whenever I tell him to shut up and prove it, he does it and he doesn't break a sweat.
Yeah. And that's what
And it
pisses
just
people
becomes
off.
frustrating
Yeah, and
that
that's what
someone
pisses
can be that good at something.
and that's what pisses people off because when you run your mouth and you back it up, it's not because you ran your mouth that pisses people off. It's because
Yeah,
you back
like
it up.
everybody's impressed when someone goes hold my beer and like does it. But
Right.
like all Bruce Lee does, like hold my keg.
All Bruce Lee does is like he never held his beer. He just
He,
kept
he
holding it.
he just kept making me hold it and just like made him like feed it to him.
Yeah. So essentially, Valiant is doing this thing where they're running their mouth, but just like, dude, you have bloodshot. That's it. You're running your mouth with bloodshot. And
Ninjax is I think Ninjax would make a great movie.
they had a Ninjax like YouTube movie, and that's about it.
and it was pretty good.
I mean,
There was a lot of good concept. It was low budget.
I mean, like from what they had, yes,
Yeah,
I kind of liked
for
it.
for their budget, it was really good.
But you can't run your mouth and say you're Daniel Craig. You
Uh,
can't do that. You can't. That's stupid.
Like at best, he has to do like. That's what he's going to compare himself. That's what you're going to be criticized for.
Nate says Roger Moore was cosplaying as James Bond in the movie.
He was cosplaying in a movie. He wasn't cosplaying at some nice con where he was taking photos of.
The reason why you didn't know Roger Moore wasn't James Bond because he was just cosplaying as James Bond.
Man, he just didn't have any of the sex appeal. He didn't have any cool lines. You know how James Bond is like famous for like bringing technology to the forefront and just really like being the best marketable way at that time to sell you some like jet ski or like a car that throws a grappling hook for no apparent reason. He probably lowered the sale of whatever car he was driving.
Look at this comment. Vinny said Valiant is a pimple on the back of
On
a
the
gorilla.
gorilla.
He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we that big. Yeah, we got this. We can do it.
Also, but like you got to think of it this way: like the MCU is way bigger than we're even seeing in films. So
yeah, I just think that Valiant needs to know where your lane is because he did say that they compared it to a traffic lane kind of thing, right?
The way I see it,
know your role, man, where you're at right now.
Yeah. So here's the thing: it's like Nintendo comparing itself to PlayStation and Microsoft, and it makes no sense. Nintendo knows it's Nintendo, and it gives two shits what the other two are doing.
Yeah,
and they're rocking it. That's what Valiant should be. It's like we're not the MCU, we're not the DCU, we're fucking Valiant.
Here's the thing. Here's what makes Valiant and Boom Studios different. Boom Studios wasn't even flexing at all. They're just announcing. They're just
telling you what they're doing.
They're just telling you what you're doing. And then all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck, man? All these
and then just like somehow the sun and the moon somehow merged together and we got Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, right? Like
it's like that's it's less flexing. It's more like we're too excited to like not tell you this.
Yeah. It's like, you know, they weren't flexing at all. They're just like silently trying to like get there. Where Valiant, it's like, you know, they're showing off.
I bet Boom Studios, the moment that they signed on Keanu Reeves, is like, oh my God, this is real. Go tell all the news media.
Do it now. Do it now. Do it
now. He signed. I don't care, even if it's a lie. Go.
Well, I'll tell you this much. From what I know, and without spoiling anything, from what I know is that they've been planning this for about a year and a half already, and they had it secured about 2 years, and then they had it secured about a year ago, but they couldn't say anything at all. So they were literally
what my thing is like probably like it takes a year for that ink to dry.
It's kind of like they were the MCU of comics. Like, you know how you cast somebody 2 years ahead and then you can't tell anybody until like
okay, so the only way to describe it, do you if anybody is familiar with Dragon Ball Z, the two main voice actors for Goku and Vegeta,
right?
They keep in every interview they're asked, what's the most exciting thing you're doing right now? They've explained this question so many times, and their answer's always been the same. The most exciting thing we're doing is right now that we can't talk about until a year or two from now.
Yeah. Like we have something exciting going on. Like
we have something something amazing right now. We really want to talk about it, but we're not allowed to.
Like we can't even like right now. This is the biggest hint I can give you. Like for us, Comics Corp Promotions, we have something really big coming up, but we can't really talk about it, and that's sad because like Lewis and I can go on and on about it, but we can't talk about it until we get there, right?
I mean, there's a limit for me, but for you, I mean, like you can riff all you want.
I can't.
Like you don't want to.
I have to keep it a secret, man.
Man, you're not bound by your own and NDA, man.
At least if I tell you, you'd forget like 2 minutes later and just like.
I mean, like, I'm not a bragger. I'm a shit talker, but not a bragger.
Oh well, that leads us to the next topic that we have. If you guys didn't know, just to let you know that Power Rangers Dragon New Dawn is going to second printing right now. This has 31,000 orders. 31,000 orders.
But I gotta admit, out of all the helmet holding, that is the most fire.
And here's the thing: the reason why it's been 31,000 orders, this little blip right here.
Yeah, but they've done every helmet but that one.
No, but here's the thing: the helmet, the way it's being held, already gives you a clue why. So if you guys haven't been reading Power Rangers have become one of the hottest properties for indie right now since Shattered Grids. When Shattered Grid came out 2.5 years ago, it was amazing. You know, they were in polybags. Remember, Lewis? They were in polybags, and they were like surprise helmets in there and whatnot.
We encouraged everybody to please open in front of us so we can see what you got.
And those polybags were going for like what, $100 a piece if you get the White Ranger one. It was insane, right?
It was the White Ranger one that was expensive. Otherwise, like it's kind of like any other polybag with a lot of hype behind it. It's the polybag is worth more than if you open it. But if you open it and you get the big hit, it's worth even more. But most of the time, like, it's better to keep the polybag in the polybag.
So to give you guys a brief background on Shattered Grid, essentially, Shattered Grid is all about the Power Rangers, obviously, but there wasn't really a universe of Power Rangers. It's always been broken with Go-Go Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Mighty Morphin's so much better. Sorry, allergies.
But what Boom did was they said, okay, what if we make our own universe in there, but make the grid, the power grid, as a multi-dimensional grid that surpasses space and time, and that every single Power Rangers TV show that you've seen since 1992 was actually different dimensions, right? And they coexist within this power grid. And what ended up happening was there was a dimension where Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, actually did not become a White Ranger, stayed with Rita Repulsa, killed Rita Repulsa, took over the whole army, took the Green Ranger power and the White Ranger power, combined them both, and therefore giving birth to a new character named Lord Draken. Now, Lord Draken basically wanted more power, so he found a way to go grid after grid after grid, killing off all the Rangers, taking all their powers, and becoming more powerful. Essentially, he's going to Mighty Morphin, he's going in space, he's going to Lightspeed Rescue, he's going to Ninja Storm, and all that stuff in there are all.
Also, we cannot forget the ironical Power Rangers in space.
Yeah, in space was like
that's the most big brain title like you can ever give any
Power Rangers in space actually saved the franchise, but that's another story.
But Power Rangers in space was really good.
But essentially, what ended up happening was, he was obviously he's been defeated. He's all defeated, but he hasn't been seen for the last 2 years until now. He came back. He looks all different. But this story here, New Lord Draken, New Dawn, is actually not about Tommy Oliver that was defeated. It was actually about Kimberly. Kimberly from another world was actually the Ranger Slayer. She worked for Lord Draken, killing off all the Rangers. She came back to the world where Lord Draken roams, and essentially the twist on this book, why it's going to second printing after 31,000 units ordered, is because she is now the new Lord Draken. Right now, let's talk about what Boom Studio is doing. Okay, let's talk about what Boom Studio is doing now. 31,000 units sold for a Power Ranger book. Is that surprising to you, Lewis?
If it was before Lord Draken, yes, I'd be like, what's going on? Did they kill off everybody and they're rebooting the entire series? Like, what kind of giant event is happening in that one book?
Yeah.
That made everybody lose their absolute mind. But I feel like Lord Dragon, my bad, had such a very like what if story, but we put it on main continuity. It was new, it was exciting, and they didn't really make it kind of like plain and boring after a while because they just kept adding, in a weird way, layers to the character. And it's almost like watching Batman in a Power Ranger book in a weird way, because it's even been questioned, like, is Tommy the Lord Dragon or not? Or maybe that was just one of his contingency plans, and his ability to just like even sacrifice the people closest to him just so that he keeps power, like makes him a very fun character to see what are his limitations and see if he has none, how far is he willing to just go with it.
Power Rangers has been one of the most intriguing books. When Shattered Grid came out, it outsold DC and Marvel at the time. When it first came out, it outsold them. It was insane. And the story wasn't bad at all. It was an amazing story. And I think that's what started the whole Boom Studio trying to snatch off all of DC writers, right? Because that was the first time that the DC writer was actually going to Boom Studios. After that, James Tynion the fourth is actually writing a couple of things from Boom Studios right now. And if you guys don't know who he is, he's the one writing Batman right now. Currently, he is like a hot writer right now. He's like the Peach Momoko of like writing. And then they also have Al Ewing too as well from Marvel. And then there's a couple more that's actually coming out pretty soon. So I think if it wasn't for Shattered Grids, Boom Studio would not be at the stage that they are right now, where they're selling their books, and their books are a lot more worth in the last year and a half than the other two big ones, Marvel and DC. Like Something's Killing the Children has a low print, and that is going for hundreds of dollars right now. Like issue number 1 and 2. Once and Future was already picked up before it was actually released. Number 2 has the lowest print. That also goes for a lot of money too. Jeff DeCal's cover for number 6 also going for a lot of money now too as well. So right now, Boom Studios is sitting pretty. Like they don't have to like flex the way Valiant is saying. Like we don't have to say they're Daniel Craig. You are Daniel Craig right now.
Once again, don't like comparing things to other people, so I won't. Boom is in its rising golden age right now. That's what I want to say.
Vinny's asking, is this going to be the last helmet cover? Probably not.
No, it sells too well.
There's probably going to be more helmet
it's
covers.
It's just not going to be as popular as this one.
Yeah. So if keep in mind, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers have ended. They are now split into two, which is Power Rangers. Which is Mighty Morphin, and then the other one's Power Rangers. The next Mighty Morphin book is actually going to be or is it Power Rangers book? I think it's Power Rangers book. The next Power Rangers book is actually going to be pretty big because they're introducing the new Psycho Rangers, which is Goldar and Rita Repulsa and everyone else. Like Lord Zed turned them to that. It's actually pretty interesting. A couple comments in here. Are you guys doing an exclusive book cover? That's nice. Nate's asking exclusive Keanu cover. That is also a nice comment. So
I mean, you can't say always nice.
It is nice.
It's just a nice thought.
It's a nice thought. There you go. It's a nice thought. The thought is
great
nice.
Question.
Great question.
Huh. An exclusive cover. So next question.
So if somebody asks, do you know Keanu personally? That is also awesome. It
sounds stupid. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Well, it would be amazing. If I knew him personally, that would be amazing. So he is Canadian. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that all Canadians know all Canadians.
Well, for some reason, most Americans think that we know everybody. So
That
I'm
giant
just saying.
landmass is essentially one state.
They're just like, oh, every time like when we had a store, they're like, conversation happened and like, I'm from Canada. It's like, you are? Do you know John? Yeah, I know John. Yes. Yep. I know John
I
from
love his
Canada.
movies.
I know John from Canada. Thank you. Great guy.
Great guy.
Oh my
Always
God.
wears a hat for some reason.
Always wears a hat. Plaid shirt, eyes, eyebrow. That guy? Yeah, I know John.
Oh, Canadian that hates the Raptors. Don't get him.
The third topic that we have is going with the whole how much is worth right now. Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knight, #1.
Get it.
$25 per copy. This is insane. Okay, so let me start this off by saying when we put things on pre-order, we are not speculating. This is actually going to be big. Okay, we told everybody that the Legends of the Dark Knight is the origin story of the Dark Knights. That's the Dark Knights happening in the Death Metal right now. Kind of like what they did with metal about 3 years ago. Okay, but what they did was they divided into each individual person, and so that was like 6 issues. But now they're just like, you know what? That's way too much. We'll just clump it all in one. That's what it is. This is why it's hitting the market at at $25 piece, because it also has the origin story of the Robin King. So, and then the variant cover, don't even get me started with the variant cover. The variant cover is going for $400, dude.
Well, it's not the variant cover. Variant cover means like you're just gonna get like regular price. You have to get 25 copies to get one.
Yeah, but like right now,
and this was the most excited for because it had the B-Rex.
The B-Rex is like, I think people should be more excited with the B-Rex. This Batman is a T-Rex. I mean, come on, man. That's amazing. So essentially, $400.
Where I feel like they dropped the ball though, is that they didn't give the B-Rex a cowl.
Oh man, that would be so awesome.
That would have been so funny. It would have made no sense.
I'm pretty sure there's like a
the T-Rex has to hide his secret identity as
it's like you don't know who I am.
It's like, yeah. You kind of look like Bruce, a T-Rex, but like he doesn't wear a cowl, man.
It's like his friends are just like a freaking raptor and like a freaking pterodactyl. They're like, you look like somebody that I know. No,
man,
not me.
You have the same great build as Bruce, but like, oh, you T-Rexes look the same to me, bro. But you have a cowl.
You see all the T-Rex with like the little hands, are just like, oh.
Like I never seen a T-Rex with your color other than Bruce. But Bruce is not a fashionista, man. You're killing it.
You just see the T-Rex describing it with their little hands. Like you got.
It's like, yeah. I got a big head but small hands.
Big head, small hands. Oh my god.
But yeah, does Bruce have a cow? How can he get the cow over his head with these tiny little hands?
All this idea is gold, man.
Oh man, the B-Rex should be a horror comedy. Where like if you make like you ask him any questions on how he got the cowl over his head, or you make fun of his tiny hands, he just eats you.
Yeah. So along with Legends of the Dark Knight, Death Metal #3 also sold out because
second printing now.
It's second printing now too. But here's the thing: this is going to be another argument. This is going to be a brand new Hulk 180, Hulk 181.
Yeah, because the actual first appearance is supposed to be Dark Knight's Metal #2, but people are focusing more on this one.
So essentially,
because that Robin right there is supposed to be Robin King.
That is a Robin King, but the thing is, he didn't turn into Robin King.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
It's
#3. He will be.
Okay, I will give you a better. I'll give you a better comparison, because the 180 and the 181. Like you can argue for days, because in 180 he really did appear full body and he called himself Wolverine. So there's a strong argument for it, which also me personally, I don't own either copy or don't care. But this one is kind of weird because you can say in Wonder Woman with the first appearance of her brother was actually in the form of an earlier issue when he was a baby, but no one counts that because they think it's a cameo. But they count his full-grown body as a young adult, kind of like Wonder Woman, to be the first appearance in about an issue or two later. So there is argument for.
I still think that with the 181, 180 is his full first appearance. It's literally head to toe. It's head to toe.
There's. It's not like his claws are popping up somewhere in a side panel.
No,
it's all his body in his costume, and he names himself Wolverine. It is. It's the craziest thing why people think 181, in my opinion, it's the craziest thing why they believe 181 is actually the first appearance. Why did this go on for so long? Why did they think an introduction was a cameo?
It's the most stupid thing. Like Punchline's cameo is a cameo. It's a lip. It's her lip. That is a cameo. That is true. Yeah. And their first appearance is basically Hell Arisen,
where they show her where, if I can quote this, their actual first appearance would be their entire physical body in one panel and then naming themselves.
Yeah.
What I consider first appearance. But there's always these weird debates. Kind of like how I believe that the Batman Who Laughs is supposed to be the first appearance is the Dark Knight's Metal #2. But they consider it to be Teen Titans #12, where all he showed up was his smile.
No.
Some other aspects. I remember that.
No. Number 12. No, number 12 was full first. It was like him.
I don't remember him being full first, other than
he was.
I read the book.
No. Inside the book, it was a full first, and he was holding the 3 Robins by the chain. So it is true. It is true.
Okay, never mind. I just remember that panel.
Yeah, it's more like.
I own 2 of those books, man.
I really. Are you selling it now?
I have to sell it. I have to sell it. Like, it's going for too much. I read it. I got what I buy books to read. I don't give a damn if they're worth like 10 cents or 200 later on. But if people really want this book for that much money, I'm gonna just sell it. And when it goes back to $10, I'm gonna rebuy it again.
There you go. So everybody who's watching and listening right now, go ahead, Lewis. Let
DM me.
Let people know how much you're selling. How much are you gonna sell Teen Titans #12?
I have the main cover and the variant, so if they want both, I don't know. Just let me know.
$5 for each.
I don't know. If I was gonna do $5, I'd rather do like a charity or something.
Okay, so there you go. And you also own Batman's penis. So
yeah. Wait, I actually have Batman's penis here. Just give me a second.
Okay, so Lewis is gonna go get his copy of Batman's penis. He also owns Batman's penis. It's right there.
I keep Batman's penis close by at any given time to give me motivation.
Okay. So if you want a copy of Batman's penis, right there you go. So
I was so sure I had both covers, but I only have the Jim Lee.
Yeah, so there you go.
Weird.
So yeah, I don't know. It's you. So anyway, so Lewis has those precious collectibles in there. So if you guys are interested, let him know.
Also, I forgot, never looked up, but like the sampler copy for Basketball Heads.
Oh, that's going for a lot of money right now. Actually, the Basketball Heads sampler copy. There's a sampler copy, right?
Yeah, the sampler right there.
Yeah, that's going for a lot of money now too. So
I own a lot of dumb stuff.
Remember we were giving away the sampler copy for Remember we were giving the sampler copy for Firepower. That's going for a lot of money now too as well. The sampler copy for Firepower, that's going for a lot of money.
I didn't really like I didn't look at this. So nice.
Yeah. The AWA year 0 There's 2 of them that came. We're just like, what the hell is this? Those are going for a lot of money too as well. We gave those away.
It's always those samplers that like you don't
It's the
think are worth
samplers,
anything,
man. Yeah,
and
man.
we give it out for free.
Yeah, the Free Comic Book Day 2011 or 16. I'm not quite sure.
The main reason we gave out the basket full of head samplers because normally like they don't give that much samplers.
Yeah,
but basket full of heads, they just gave us a lot.
The sampler for Free Comic Book Day 2006 or 2007. I'm not quite sure. For Dark Horse. Yeah, for Dark Horse. It was the first appearance of the Umbrella Academy. Oh, that was going for lots of money right now.
I think it's about 200
around there. Yeah, well, if it's not certified, uncertified, it's 200. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
My issue with like Teen Titans 12 to sell it right now is like I want it graded because I know I can get more because they're solid copies.
Yeah,
but metal's happening now. And I feel like if I get it back from CGC, I'll never see it again, and I'm out like $100.
So, moving on to our last and main topic, which Lewis did not watch because if you guys were watching our Instagram live today, his reasoning was when I text him the link, it shows up as a picture, and he's like, "Don't send me pictures." Blah.
Also, really, please stop sending me pictures every time you want to see it. Send me a text. Like I see you related text. The last I told you related, and then zoomed in. See that, but then went back to the original thing. Now I can't see the topics anymore. So now I have to search for it.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, like when you have an Android and you send a link, it's gonna show you a preview on what it looks like, the thumbnail, right? And he thought the thumbnail was actually just a picture, but it's actually a link. So he never clicked.
No. I had to scroll even higher because you did send me of just sci-fi.
Right.
It was really weird. Like I don't know what happened. Whatever. I wasn't really jived to watch an entire interview on Todd McFarlane.
So
I mean, just like, and what I mean by this, I don't mean like Todd McFarlane explaining his journey of Image Comics. I mean Todd McFarlane about Todd McFarlane.
So
I'm not jived.
So let's get started with. I'm going to explain to Lewis because Lewis hasn't seen it yet. So I'm going to try my best to explain to him about what the show was about.
And if by some miracle Todd McFarlane sees this and judges me and shits on me, like fair game.
So essentially, the reason why we called the topic today, like hell I won't, the last dance of comics. If you guys have seen, if you guys are sports fans, and if you guys have seen, Lewis is not.
I mean, I know.
There's a documentary out about Michael Jordan. It's called The Last Dance. It's about
I still need to watch it.
Yeah, it's about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls and their last run to the playoffs in 1998, right? Finals. But it also takes you through the stories of the people who were actually involved in that historic run. But more so stress on Michael Jordan's point of view on things, like how he views competition and how competitive he is and how he likes to motivate people. This goes back to what we were talking about Bruce Lee. Like he's pretty cocky. Michael Jordan's pretty cocky and whatnot. Nobody likes him that much, but he can back it up. It's not the fact that he talks too much that gets annoying. It's the fact that he talks a lot and he can back it up that makes it annoying because he can back it up. Now with this documentary in here, it's about an hour long. It's done by Sci-Fi and by and executive produced by Mike Avila, which is a native in Miami. He executive produces an original documentary about Todd McFarlane and how his resilience and how he knows what he's worth and how he always tells people like, why can't I do this? That's why it's called Like Hell I Won't. So part of the documentary there is basically there's a section of the documentary where he talks about Spider-Man. He was a 22-year-old person who was in Marvel, and he was doing all of these sub panels and whatnot in these covers. And then they said, okay, do one for Spider-Man. So he did the Spider-Man, and then he did the famous webs of Spider-Man. And people are like, why would you do Spider-Man like that? Like, he doesn't shoot his web towards the camera, like, which is the cover. He shoots it somewhere else, right? It's a string. It's not like that kind of thing that you're doing. And all of a sudden, sales started coming out, and people were loving it. And he was telling you things like, if you are doing what they were doing in the past, you're gonna be stuck basically repeating all the mistakes of the past, which is, for me, it resonates a lot, because that's what we've been telling people about comic book stores. If comic book stores are doing the exact same thing that they're doing, what they did in the past, you're bound to actually fail the way the past did. And that's what made our comic book stores, when we had Multiverse Core Comics, a little bit more different, is because we were a lot more forward thinking. When the pandemic happens and whatnot, we were already prepared, because we were already doing delivery. We weren't overstocking on a lot of things, because we were doing pre-orders, so we know how much that we need. A lot of comic book stores are not doing that. Todd's the way he thinks is actually forward thinking too as well. So when they gave him a Spider-Man, and that sold a lot, they said, we'll give you Spider-Man #1, and then you can do your own thing there. And he explains how he did his own thing and it outsold him, and how Marvel didn't like it too much is because he was getting more famous than Spider-Man himself, which is actually true. If you pick yourself up a Torment #1 Spider-Man, you're not picking up Torment #1 Spider-Man because it's Torment Spider-Man #1. You're picking it up because it's a Todd McFarlane book, right? So he surpassed the character itself and the story itself. And what ended up happening too as well is that he would say a lot of things and he can back it up, right? If he's like, I'm Todd McFarlane, I can do this, I can do that, and he backs it up. So not a lot of people like that kind of thing. And he showed that emotion too as well when he was talking about his wife Wanda, which Spawn was actually about. He said that he can be a lot. He knows he can be a lot, but she stuck with him through and through, and that says a lot about him too as well. His resilience and everything from his beginning. When he was a kid, he just wanted to draw and actually do things different than any other people. Um, and people never really accepted that. And when you watch it, he just kept at it. And he tells people that it took him years before he could actually get his big break. So a lot of people think that when you draw and you're good, you're gonna get a big break. No, that's not how it works,
That's not
right?
how it works anywhere.
That's not how it works anywhere. He told in the documentary that it took him years until he got his big break with Marvel, right? Until somebody contacted him. It wasn't even Marvel who contacted him. It was Coyote. It was like a book called Coyote that contacted him before he started doing Hulk. After he did Coyote, he did Hulk. And after he did Hulk, he started doing Spider-Man and all that stuff, right?
There's actually very good examples of people like him where they're like very excellent at drawing, but they're
Yeah.
never picked up by comic books.
Yeah. And
A really like I feel an amazing
yeah.
example of this, if who doesn't follow My Hero Academia if you love anime,
Yeah.
that person originally was trying to
Hmm.
get into Marvel or DC for comic books.
Hmm.
They refused him.
Yeah. So
That doesn't necessarily mean you have a great product you can sell, talent or anything. It's just luck.
yeah. Which but that's why this documentary was kind of interesting, because that's why I said that this is kind of like the last dance of comics, is because you get a little bit more insight of how competitive Tom McFarlane was and how much that he wanted to change comic books for the better, and how he actually appreciated his fans. It's just that he's very competitive, and he's actually, he says himself that he's a little bit too much. Now, here's my question to you, Lewis. If you're gonna watch this movie later on, it's 45 minutes long,
Mhm.
an hour with commercial and all that. You're gonna watch this later. I gave you the link. Would it change your perspective of Tom McFarlane? Because for me, in terms of my perspective with Tom McFarlane, I did think he was that kind of person too as well. I'm the great Tom McFarlane. I release
So,
something, you're gonna
so let me
want it.
stop you right there before you explain why you're going to justify that kind of action with his private life. One, your private life is your private life. You can act any way you want. But in the public eye, if you act like an asshole, that's the way people see you. It doesn't matter in an interview where you can like kind of pick and take and somehow make yourself in a much lighter and better view. That doesn't mean anything when your personal actions still show kind of what a kind of shitty person you are. And this is why probably this interview is not going to change my perspective on how he is as a person. But I cannot deny his work ethic, his execution, and his ability to multitask. I'm not discrediting him for that. I'm just saying that his public show of his person, not a great guy.
But that's the same thing as like, that's the thing. You can't change anyone who's competitive that way. Like
I'm not telling him to like. I'm not saying like Todd McFarlane should change.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you're not really gonna change my mind on like Todd McFarlane is not an asshole.
Okay, so here's my argument. Here's my argument here. If you didn't know me personally, you would think I'm a dick. Yes or no?
I think you're a dick now. I don't understand this question. I think you're a dick now. Like, what kind of like Messiah like ass kissing have you done for me? It does not make you think I'm an asshole.
But for the sake of the argument though, if you didn't know me at all, you would think I'm a big dick. Like
I actually have no like opinions on people that doesn't show like. I don't go by rumor mill. I go by what they actually show.
Yeah.
So if I didn't work for you and I knew how much of a dick you were, I would have been like, "Do you have my comics? Cool, goodbye."
Because we've had,
and then I just go on my way and like not give a shit.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of customers too as well, and we've had a lot of customers stick around, and because they know us personally, and we have a lot of customers that left because they don't like us. Essentially,
we fucked up somehow, and then that was like the first and last straw.
It was like one time we fucked. I still remember that one guy. Okay, just
one guy like
he like side note. This is just side.
That's a side note. Screw it.
This is just side note. There's one guy that we never miss an issue. This is from our very first beginnings. We've never missed an issue from him. We missed one issue, and he's like, "Guy's a dick." It was like fucking. It was the most amazing. It was the most amazing thing. Like, this guy's a dick. See, for me,
here's the problem with that. We only fucked up his order because Diamond fucked up our order, and we did not have enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And that still bothers me.
So here's my hey, what's up, Sterling? Here's my thing though. Okay, here's my thing. If you didn't know me at all,
asshole.
People think I was an asshole, but the thing is, I'm just very competitive, and I know that I can back it up. That's the thing. That's what I should say. Most or some of the stores in Miami hated me about. It's because Tim always does this and this and that. But the thing is, I say all these things, but I can back it up. That's the thing. If I say that there's something big coming up, there was something big coming up, and we had Steve Aoki in. If I say that we can get a celebrity in here, and we did. Right? If I say that we could do this and do this, we would actually follow through it. That's what makes people. So some people didn't like me. Most comic book stores didn't like me in Miami is because I could back it up. That's the thing, and that's what they hated. And the reason why I could relate to Todd McFarlane's documentary is because he said a lot of things and he backed it up. He said that he wants to do something that he can't do. He still did it, right? When people said that you cannot give more than 10% to your customers, we gave more than 10% to our customers as a discount. When they said that you cannot give free bag and boards to your customer, we gave free bag and boards to our customers. That's basically how we did things. When they said that why are you doing pre-orders 2 months ahead of time? You can't do that. We did pre-orders 2 months ahead of time. And that's why I could relate to the way that this documentary was set up. Right? If they tell us to do that, we cannot do something, we did it. Right? Kevin Lopez is saying the Clayton Crane signing too as well. Yeah, the Clayton Crane signing too as well. When we said that we're gonna have artist signings every month, people, most comic book stores there did not understand how we were doing it. They still don't understand now how we were doing that. You know what I mean?
Just thinking
So
back on it makes me tired.
just thinking about it is like, oh my god, you know, I'm so
They're,
tired.
like, you guys got to be in a very tiresome line. It was always hot outside, but I was the asshole indoors walking around. Like, inside didn't even feel like there was air conditioning, and I still had to, like,
It was
go
hot.
here, go that, remove a shirt full of vomit, replace it with a
Yeah.
different shirt in the back because I always have spare
Yeah.
clothes for some crazy reason.
Yeah. But all that,
Very stressful.
yeah, but just all that, just like every other competitive person and every other people out there, we did it and we said things and we did things because we wanted for you guys. The signings that we've had every month.
Difference between you and me, you're competitive. I'm just hardworking. I just shut up and do it.
Yeah. So that's why.
But that doesn't make me any less of an asshole. Oh
Yeah.
man, I know I'm an asshole.
Yeah. So so there's a difference. So my thing is like if you're gonna take anything away from it, there's two types of assholes. Okay. There's some assholes that are actually just an asshole just for the sake of being an asshole. Okay. Number two, there are assholes because they're just competitive and they just want to win all the time. And that's the thing.
Sorry.
Right. And then that's the thing, right? You know, we're not being a dick because we want to be a dick, you know. There's a reason why you know, Lewis and I still are very connected to each other, and right now we're still very good friends and whatnot because
We're both assholes.
he's an asshole for just being an asshole.
We know each other's scent.
It's sense. So essentially there's a difference in there. With Todd McFarlane in his documentary, he wasn't being an asshole to be an asshole. He was an asshole because he's very competitive and he wants it for you guys. Essentially, when he was
the
Yep.
thing with that like way of thinking is like I could see him having that point when he was younger, but now he's very set on what he does, and he gives very little risks to things. He just follows the formula that he knows it works, and he doesn't give too much. It's very odd that he does, but he rarely ever even gives new talent a chance.
No, that's actually the see, that's why you got to watch the documentary because he came across one person that he really loved. His name was Jason Alexander. So he's the one who's doing Spawn right now. And
but like that's not what I'm saying. Like the now, I mean, like there's been a long time where he like.
No, but here's what I'll tell you too as well. I can contest to this, and John Boy can contest to this too as well. He gave John Boy a significant part of Spawn resurrecting freaking the original Spawn. Remember, they killed him off, right? They killed him off. And they
brought him back.
And he handed the mantle to John Boy Myers. Okay. At that time, John Boy was actually famous enough, but he wasn't at that point that he is John Boy Myers now. Do you know what I'm saying? He gave him a chance on that, and that's actually amazing. You know,
I didn't really like the resurrection of Spawn.
Like
I thought it was.
Oh, I loved it.
I thought it was really written.
No, I loved it. And like John Boy was telling me that he gave him all the room that he wants. Like you're gonna resurrect him. He said, I want to put a mouth on him. Go ahead, but put a reason to it. You know, he gave him a chance. Todd McFarlane gave people a chance. And the funny thing is that not much people gets to see this. But if you had a book of illustrations and you go to a signing that he's done in like conventions and you ask him, you know, I only have a few minutes with you. Do you mind giving me a critic on my work? He will actually do it.
I feel like a lot of people would.
Well, here's the funny part, though. I see some sort of trend going on with that because the comic book artists and writers that did most of that actually are the ones who were coming up back in the 90s. Like the Michael Turner does that. Tyler Kirkham still does that. He loves it when you bring him
when you ask him for his constructive criticism.
Yeah, Tyler would do that. Remember, Tyler's been around in the business too since the 90s too as well, right?
Because in the end of the day, all you really kind of want is people that are in the business, are experienced.
Yeah.
So obviously you are going to ask for their opinion.
Yeah, Greg Capullo does the same thing too as well. Todd McFarlane does it too as well. You know, if you come up to these guys and ask them, "Hey, I want you to roast my stuff and tell me what I did wrong. Don't tell me what I did right."
Well, you really probably shouldn't say roast. I do not think they're there just like, hey, make me feel bad about how the shit I did.
Yeah.
They're like,
well, that's the thing. That's for me, that's how I like to do things. You know, I don't tell people, tell me what I did right. I always tell people, tell me what I did wrong.
You want to ask them what you did wrong and how you can do it better, but like you just can't rip someone's balls out.
I would.
I mean, like, if someone asked me, like, legitimately went up to me, not in a comical manner and all that, I would constructually tell them what I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to make them feel like this is probably the worst thing I've ever seen, and you should stop.
I can't contest this. I forgot who it was. There was an artist that's around now. I want to say Greg. For some reason, Greg Capullo is what's coming on my brain. But there's an artist that's famous right now, and what he did was he would go to conventions after conventions, and asking and following one artist that he loves, right, and ask them for their opinion. They're like, "What do you think of my work?" And then we'll tell him what's wrong. And what he would do is he would follow him in conventions that he's going, and then kept asking him, "Okay, I improve on this. What else did I do wrong?" So he would buy tickets to conventions
just to get that one opinion,
just so that he can get that one opinion from his favorite artist and tell him what I did wrong. That's amazing. You know what I mean?
I feel like that shows a lot of like a good, successful mindset.
His commitment.
What you're willing to do to improve, even if it costs you something weird. Like, the only way I'm ever gonna talk to this person, without social media, face to face, to really see the upfront reaction, is to go to this con. Whatever day I need to, and hopefully the guy that I like doesn't have like a line for a line.
And that's I think that's what's kind of missing nowadays. That's why I think a lot of artists likes it when they can critic someone else's work and tell them like what they did wrong, what they did right. What's missing nowadays is
because you want to interact with the inspiration after them.
Yeah, because nowadays there's a lot of artists I've seen too as well in conventions, and even now they come up to me and whatnot. I don't critique their work. I don't know illustrations what for nothing, but I would come across a lot of like artists that wants to break into the industry, but they don't really know how to approach it, and they feel like they're good enough, but they never really ask for criticism from their favorite artists at all. They just believe that they're good enough and that things should be handed over to them right away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say entitled, but like it just feels that way.
There is a slight entitlement to being able to commit to a skill, and then you feel that you reached that level, but in all honesty, you're still not getting the recognition you feel that you deserve.
Yeah.
So it becomes somehow skewed.
Yeah. So that's why you gotta admire this documentary too as well about Todd. Like, he was resilient. He'll tell you, he actually told people like how he actually for 2 years in a row he said that he kept all 300 rejection letter that he had. He kept them, and he's like, I kept all of these, and he just got
so if I was gonna give a kind of like a sample of it, is the difference between kind of like some artists that feel like they're entitled to get a job somewhere versus Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane didn't treat this as a hobby or a dream. He treated it as, this is the job I want. I'm going to like put in my resume again and again, and every time my resume just gets thicker, more films, and that's what people hiring actually want.
Right.
So
exactly. So it's kind of funny though, because I had a conversation with somebody and said that billionaires shouldn't exist. I don't know what your point of that though. Do you think billionaires should exist?
I have no idea why you and Roberto go into like this weird like war with each other, but it brings me such joy that I never will stop it.
But like
it's this weird war. It's this weird war of attrition.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I don't understand it.
Oh yeah, we did have that discussion about billionaires and all that stuff.
Okay,
right?
So the problem with Roberto and billionaires is that he hates the fact that no matter how successful you are and no matter how much money you spent, you can never literally in your lifetime spend $8 billion. And it like the number itself drives him insane. And I've seen him like mentally dissolve himself thinking of $1 billion. And in my little input into this, like I can easily spend $1 billion. All I have to do is spend it on dark matter and its creation. That will cost me billions of dollars to commit to that. Like I can't spend $1 billion. I have thought about it and I figured it out. Is it stupid to fund the making of dark matter? Maybe. Maybe I'll make a really cool bomb that destroys planets. But I get where he's coming from in a way.
No, I don't get where he's coming from, but that's just my opinion there. That's not the topic there. I mean, like in my opinion, this is long story short, this is the way I look at it. Okay, with billionaires and whatnot, there's no one. These guys basically came up from nothing too as well. Okay, they never.
Oh, and by the way, you're running out of conversations because you're not constantly talking to Roberto anymore. You'll run out of these arguments.
so essentially the way I look at it is this, okay? Billionaires, there's not one time that these guys woke up and say I don't want to be a billionaire. There's no way, okay? So that's just my point of view, but that's not a topic there.
Billionaires, we stop dreaming.
I know, stop dreaming. That's stupid. So I mean, just to wrap up, no, we got issues this week. The way I look at it is this, okay? One,
there is one topic that I kind of want to nichely bring up, and I want to make a couple of comic book recommendations.
What is it?
So for comic book recommendations, just make it nice and quick. Wonder Woman 762 introduces a new villain called Liar Liar.
But it's 159. They said that's her first appearance.
From everything is saying, new villain debut. So it doesn't matter.
I know that is basically going to be one hell of a fucking discussion again, because they said new villain introduction at 162, and then they came out this week saying that 759 is her first appearance. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
It could be easily rectified by changing her name.
I guess, yes, because Liar Liar.
That's an easy fix.
Yes, because Liar Liar is technically the villain's name. In her first appearance, Liar Liar's first appearance is 162. But the character who turned into Liar Liar, her first appearance is 159. It's kind of like Batwoman, when first appearance of Kate Kane.
Like, you can say the first appearance of the person, but not the first appearance of the villain.
Yeah, essentially.
So you have argument there.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Batwoman. Her first appearance at Kate Kane, and then her first appearance at Batwoman. You know what I mean?
And do you care about Kate Kane or do you care about Wonder Woman?
Well, you care about the whole thing.
You care about the whole thing, but like, what do you prioritize?
That's why you sell 52 weeks as like a big whole, because 4 issues has first Kate Kane. Cameo Kate Kane. First Kate Kane, cameo Batwoman, first Batwoman.
So if you get all 4 of those, nice.
Yeah, or just sell the whole set, all 52 books.
And my second recommendation is done by one of my favorite artists, Mirka Adolfo. the variant for Batgirl number 49.
49. Yeah, that's actually not bad.
That one looks so beautifully colored.
That's
Oh,
really nice.
I love Mirka Gardofo's color
Actually,
choice.
one of the nicer ones now is Josh Middleton. Josh Middleton's Wonder Woman number 759 and Wonder Woman number 761. That was actually really nice cover. By
Oh,
Josh
are you?
Middleton.
As a side tangent, are you seeing like DC's like 1 in 25s where it's just like kind of like just one character
It's the character
and
relation.
it's like a weird sketch art? I don't like that. That's the 1 in 25.
Well, those ones they're becoming really hot because they're
Really? I think the quite opposite. They're gonna be like a small blip fad that it's not gonna go anywhere.
well, because the reason why is because they're attached to the first appearances. That's why they're becoming really big. They're attached to the first appearances of the character, like Batman number 86, I believe it is. Batman 86 is.
But in my opinion, if you are gonna use the character as the highlight for the 1 in 25, don't make it that sketch thing. Just make a really cool concept.
Yeah.
Like I feel that like this, like that 1 in 25 just looks like, okay, here's the character that looks like how they look like in one panel. And then this in the background is when I was sketching it. And I feel like that's very lazy.
Yeah. It looks nice. A lot of people
it's a stock photo.
Yeah, a lot of people are liking that. Are liking those two as well. So
I'm in the country. I do not like it.
Just to let everybody know too as well, just before we go to as well.
Oh wait, there is the other the thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. So go ahead. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
There's this thing going around where I forgot the artist, and damn it, I was talking to Eugene about it, where he's drawing the Bat family like they were wearing Power Ranger suits. And it looks so good. And if you can look it up, you guys will not regret it because it looks amazing.
Power Rangers is a Bat family?
Yeah, it's the Bat family were wearing Power Ranger suits.
Who's the artist?
I forgot. Like, I have to talk to this psychopath, this Germany Nazi psychopath. Like, no, I do not want to install an important update. I hope all the viruses break me.
Okay, well, while Lewis actually figures out his own phone because he needs a new one.
Okay, Dan Mora.
Oh, you forgot Dan Mora? Dan Mora.
Okay, I'm just gonna show this.
Okay. So this isn't okay. So it's not the Bat family as a Ranger thing. It's basically the Rangers having a Batman theme armor. That's what it is. So if you guys,
you literally just said what I just said backwards. Congratulations.
So if you guys want to check out what Lewis is talking about, go to Dan Mora's Instagram. He's been posting those things too as well on his Instagram while he's in quarantine. Dan Mora is really great. He's been in our store too as well. So essentially, for today, just to let everyone know, yeah, go ahead and watch the documentary about Tom McFarlane, Like Hell I Won't. Again, that's from executive producers, the Miami native Micah Villa. Micah Villa is a nice guy too as well. X Factor #1 exclusive variant cover by Scott Williams is out now too as well. We're going.
I don't think you gave Micah Villa a good fair shot because you just compared. You said Todd McFarlane is a good guy. Mike Villa is also a good guy.
So
just say he's a good guy. Just don't say also a good guy.
So
I'm like, now I don't think he's a very good person if you're comparing him to Todd McFarlane.
But
I now have to meet him to change my opinion.
Okay. Essentially, X Factor #1 is actually out now too as well. Exclusive cover for Scott Williams is out now too as well. And in 2 weeks, the physical manifestation of 7 Secrets is actually going to be out too as well. We're going to talk about 7 Secrets possibly next week too as well, because 7 Secrets has also sold about 41,000 units already. Dear Lord, Boom Studios is killing it. 41,000 units. It may be going to second print. We don't know yet. But the first print on our exclusive cover with Tony Skeplik is out right now too as well, and we have the 1 out of 10s and 1 out of 25 for free. Okay, if you can buy the 3-pack for the price of the 2-pack, which is $45, and you get the 1 out of 25 and the 1 out of 10 for free, depending which one. Those are limited in stock. People are actually buying them off already, just to let everyone know. And then in 2 weeks, we do have another announcement too as well for our next variant cover. You might have seen some of the teaser trailers that we've been having so far on our Instagram. That is related to our next one too as well. This one's going to be a killer too as well. I sent it to Lewis. He probably forgot about it. I'll send it him again. But that's coming out in 2 weeks too as well. So definitely something to watch over too. And then we'll have another one too as well. We'll pretty much have exclusive. We do have something planned 5 months from now. Again, we cannot say anything about it.
Like always, the most exciting thing we're really jived about is what's happening now. I fucking hate it. I totally get why they hate this.
Yeah, they hate it. So,
oh, by the way, if you're excited for more for something more current, this week release would have Joker, the 3 Jokers.
Oh yeah,
so
the 3 Jokers
more than likely,
finally,
there's not a lot of copies of. If I was you, I'm watching Monday live. Go.
Yeah. So, if you guys are one of the people who ordered X Factor #1, we are going through each and every single one of those books. We're pressing and cleaning them for free. So definitely watch out for it. It will be coming. And then also the private signing that we have for Scott Williams and Alex St. Clair is still up now too as well. Remember, we need your books by August 22nd because it takes place on the 29th. If you guys
and the sooner you do it, the better.
Yeah, the sooner the better, man. If you guys have
any and trust me, if any of you are thinking of grading, buy the expedited shipping, man.
Yeah, the expedited. Yeah, if you buy the
expedited shipping is less of a gamble.
Yeah, if you ask us about expedited shipping, we'll have it available for you guys too as well. So, but you'll get your book really quick.
Highly recommended. Don't be kind of cheap and don't pay like what? It's like an extra like $15-$20
around there. $5 actually. I think it's an extra $5.
Whatever. Do it. It's the most. It also saves us headaches and you asking us 3 months later, like, where's my book? We don't know. CGC keeps them. It now belongs to CGC. Call CGC.
They just have it now.
They own it now. It's theirs technically.
So next week we are back again, and I'm not going to be in the hotel again traveling because I'm out of traveling. So I'm traveling today. Where am I going? Undisclosed location. What is it concerning about? Comics. That's pretty much all I can tell you.
What he's trying to tell you is he's very excited to do it now, and we'll tell you in 3 months.
So stupid. Oh my God. Stop giving people false hope. Okay. Anyways.
That's a great question. False hope, huh?
That's false hope. That's it for We Got Issues this week. We'll definitely be back again this week. And as always, I will try my hardest to do Weekly Wednesday again. I did like 2 and then that was it. But I got busy, dude. So
you should just mainstream and just make it all electronical. Stop being all like, we need phones.
We need phones.
How am I going to get a response immediately? Listen, man. Let me tell you about these phone calls.
Oh, Jesus.
They just report. And then it goes somewhere else. It does the same amount of email. But now you have a very low brain human being.
Jeez.
Phone calls are dumb.
Okay, well, we'll probably talk about phone calls next week. But until then...
By the way, I do have bias against phone calls. I hate doing them.
Thank you for spending your time with us, guys. If you guys have any questions, definitely reach out to us, comiccoachpromotions.com. You can always reach us through all social media too as well. I'll put it up very quickly before we go. Here it is. This is all of our social media platform there. Instagram,
and if you
Twitter,
find me specifically, I'd just be impressed. Still not going to friend you.
And then And then Spotify. This episode will be available on Spotify as of tomorrow. Do you have any last words, Lewis?
I already gave my rant on phone calls. Do you want me to do another one?
Okay, well, that's it. So we'll see you guys again next week.